This is a Film Stories original podcast.
The truth is in here. I'm your host, Sarah Blair, and you are listening to I Want to Believe Minute, where we examine the second X-Files movie 1 minute at a time. Today, we are exploring minute 86, running from approximately 85 minutes as we first see Skinner's big, bald, beautiful head, through to 85 minutes and 59 seconds, when the doctor is setting numbers on the dialysis machine. And joining me again, welcome back, Cortlan and Cathy.
Hi.
How have you guys been since our last minute?
It's been a long time.
Hi.
It has.
Yeah.
It feels like this is going on a long time.
I know. We were just talking about that. We're getting towards the end of the movie. This is kind of like, our minutes here are like the big climax scene for the whole film. So no pressure.
Yikes.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about those. We're going to be here from minutes 86 to 92. So, yeah. We got us for a big chunk here. But yeah, it's been a long time. I think we started recording back in January, and at the time of this recording, it is the beginning of June. So it's been a solid 6 months that we've all been working on this project together. And
I think I've watched the entire series twice since then. So.
Wow.
Okay, maybe not.
And how many times have you watched Fight the Future?
I refuse to comment.
It's been fun. So let's dive into our minute. But first, I would like to remind you to follow the XCast on social media. You can find us in all the places at linktree/the-xcast. If you're enjoying the show, please drop us a rating and review on your podcast platform of choice. Not only does this do us a favor, but it helps other X-Files fans find our show and enjoy it too. Also, don't forget that you can subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/thexcast for early releases of episodes, lots of bonus content, and more. All right, so we've already talked to y'all about your first experiences, watching I Want to Believe Minute. Now that we're getting towards the end, have your opinions or anything changed about the film after talking about it a little bit more in depth or anything, Cortlan?
No, not really. No. I feel like I'm settled in pretty firmly in my thoughts about I Want to Believe at this point. I think maybe because I've spent so much time with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Give me 365 days before I have to watch it again, and then maybe I'll have a different feeling.
That's fair. Cathy, how about you?
What I have noticed in listening to the minutes is that there are things that I had in my head as accepted as true about this movie that aren't ever said in the movie. So my feeling about what happened between the truth and I Want to Believe is all headcanon. None of it has actually happened on screen, so there are different thoughts and opinions about that. So that was sort of eye-opening to me because I just, had it so clearly in my head that, okay, this is what happened. And it's of my own making, or me, or other fans and fanfic writers and such. But yeah, so that has been kind of eye-opening. I think I don't know that my opinion of the movie has changed, but I have taken on little points of the movie that I hadn't necessarily thought of before.
Yeah, same. There's definitely been some fun details that I've missed before, and talking about it in such minute detail helps me notice things that I never would have noticed before. And, hearing other people's thoughts and ideas has been really fun. And just getting other people's impressions and finding out, what matches and what doesn't match. And it's been a fun journey, I think. So I'm glad that we had the opportunity to do this. It's been fun.
Yeah, getting so many different voices on the movie instead of just 2 or 3 people talking about the whole thing. Yeah. So yeah, that's been fun.
It has been. Yeah, so today we get to finally talk about my favorite character in the X-Files, and I'm sure you know who that is. Assistant Director Walter Sergei Skinner. So our minute starts off with Skinner's head. It's just his head. She's like, that guy, and we all know who it is.
It's so
perfect.
Know
the back of that head.
Exactly. It's so iconic, that shape. Right. You know who it is. I mean, they just said his name, but you see his head. I'm like, yes, that's the way to bring him in. I love that.
Exactly. The man who really needs no introduction.
I do think it makes you feel better in the moment. You're like, oh, okay, never mind. This is going to be fine now. Because
right.
Who were all these other crazy FBI agents we don't care about?
Right. Yeah, and why hadn't we seen Sicliano before? But
right.
We're saving him for the big finish.
Exactly. And one of the interesting facts that I learned from the commentary that I literally just watched right before we started recording this, Skinner is the only other original character from the series who is in this movie. So it's Mulder and Scully and Skinner, and those are the only original characters. Everybody else is new. So yeah, I'm glad they found a way to work him in. And Chris Carter said they had to call so many people and apologize. They're like, we had to tell so many people that we were very sorry. We just couldn't work them in.
Oh, wow.
To the story.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
I wonder who else they would have liked to use. I mean, they already killed the lone gunman, and Doggett and Reyes probably are the biggest absences.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I am imagining.
Yeah.
It would be Doggett and Reyes.
Yeah.
Everybody else is supposedly dead.
Yeah. Supposedly.
Well.
Kirsch. Yeah. Kirsch. I mean, what?
Oh, yeah, maybe
Did anyone really want to see him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here's what I wonder when I see this scene is, she clearly called Skinner because he's a bigwig at the FBI. But what I wonder is, how much contact do you think Mulder and Scully have had with Skinner since The Truth? Is this the first time that they ever reached out to him? Or was he sort of involved in saying, the coast is clear, Scully can come work as a doctor in the open as long as Mulder stays hidden? I mean, what do you think? Is Skinner, this is the first time she called him?
I wonder about it. I wonder what reasons they would have had to call him other than just like, hey, buddy. They don't seem like they're the buddy-buddy types.
But he was clearly an ally in their escape.
Yeah.
So I kind of think, this is my headcanon, which I thought everyone agreed on, which obviously it's just in my head. But that he was sort of instrumental in letting them know the coast is clear. Clear enough for Scully while Mulder stays hidden. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how. So maybe they had a prearranged meeting time where they passed information or something.
Yeah.
But I could easily see that this might be the first time they've seen each other face to face.
Or it could even have, it's like, like back in, I think it's Paperclip, right? Where he sort of brokers that, like, coming in. Like, I could see where that is, there's some potential there. But I don't think, like you said, I don't think there's any evidence of that.
Right.
Yeah, based on their interaction now. But, right. I know I read that somewhere. Yeah. So I think maybe limited contact. I mean, obviously she felt okay enough to call him and be like, Mulder's doing a crazy thing.
I sort of see it like in Triangle, You will help me because Mulder's in danger. You know?
Yeah.
Same kind of vibe.
She does have that vibe in some of these minutes.
Yeah. I also like the idea of them calling to, like, check, like you said, Cathy, like, is it okay? Like, are we good? Because somebody had to, like, arrange them coming back. And I'm sure that he would have been the one that they called to make sure it was safe, you know?
That just makes sense to me, that Skinner's their guy.
Yeah. Even if, for whatever weird reason, in season 10 and 11, they're all like, can we really trust you? And I was like, come on. After all this, I feel like, yes.
Yeah.
We get the introduction of Skinner in this minute. These minutes, I feel like, are kind of almost divided up into, like, 2 or 3 parts. Because, like, so much stuff is happening. And I don't know about you all, but when I was watching, I felt like the minutes went by really fast. Like, a couple of the other minutes, I felt like I was watching them, and it felt like a long time. But then these just... there's so much action.
And there's so many cuts back and forth between what Mulder's doing, what Skinner and Scully's doing.
Those quick cuts,
Yeah, so I think that makes it's more propulsive that way.
We know that Mulder escaped from the car, so he's not dead. And we see the bad guy coming to track him through. He found the place, the complex where they're at. I don't know what even to call it, like a trailer place. Like a makeshift surgery.
Script calls it the compound.
Compound. I've been calling it a farm in my mind. Like it's like a farm out there.
Yeah, it's definitely a rural location.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's a dangerous word to try to say. Rural.
Yeah.
Rural.
Yeah. And so we've got Mulder, who's clearly in danger. And then we've got the woman who is clearly in very real danger.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're getting her prepped for this body transplant. Head transplant? Body transplant.
Yeah.
Whatever. They're switching
the
heads.
swap.
The head swap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of tension is happening right now. It's, it's big stuff happening. But not a lot of dialogue, really. So it's hard to kind of figure out what to talk about in these minutes, I think. Yeah. But, go ahead, Cathy.
Well, I was just going to say that when we first see Skinner, there's some dialogue there, but what I like is that he is the voice of reason. Look, Mulder is not there. He climbed out. If he climbed out, he climbed up, and he's okay. So he's take charge. He's the bigwig. He's also a friend to Scully. He's trying to calm her down. He's being reasonable. I like our glimpse of him right there. He's everything we want Walter Skinner to be right there. And then throughout the next several minutes. But from the very first time we see him, he's like, yeah, he's our guy.
And I thought, too, that little... just that tiny back and forth they had was actually like really nice acting from both of them. I thought it was really nice, like setting and acting, and that they both did a really good job in that little exchange.
Yeah, because she was upset, she was panicking, and he's let's calm down. And I think they both pulled that off really nicely.
Yeah, and I noticed too, like kind of throughout these minutes. It's not the same Scully panic as Triangle. It's definitely not the same. It's a little different. And I was thinking about how, from her perspective, it's been a long time since she's been in this scenario. And she's not really an FBI agent anymore. And so she's kind of stuck, in how do I fix this now? And yeah, I thought it was really well done to make it just a little different than we would have seen before.
Yeah, and it, like in Triangle, she is exercising every ounce of authority she has as an FBI agent, whereas here she really has nothing and has to call in Walter Skinner. Because she tried threatening Drummy, and that got her nowhere, so she... That's a very interesting point. It's a different slant for her.
Yeah.
Trying to save Mulder again, but she's in a different place.
I just thought it was well done. It was just very subtle, but well done.
Yeah.
Also on the commentary, they mentioned that that part where they're pulling up the car was filmed in 2 different locations, and that sheriff police officer is 2 different actors. And
really?
And the tow truck driver is also 2 different people.
That's so funny.
Yeah, one of the actors had a line. One of the officers had a line, was a line-speaking actor, and then the other one was just there. She was a non-speaking officer. So, yeah, and throughout this whole section, in the commentary, Chris Carter mentioned, like, all these different locations. Like, all of this stuff is filmed all over the place. It's so wild. Just about every different cut. He's like, that's a different location. That was a different location. That was 2 different locations.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And I really admire how they were able to keep that in editing. Like, because it's seamless. You would never know that all these things. And when we get to it, there's a certain point that was filmed on a stage much later that you can't tell. Wow. It looks so real. And
I have to say, I find some of the stuff going on at the compound farm, whatever, kind of confusing. Because there are so many fast cuts, I can't quite figure out what's going on, and they've moved on to something else. And so I have always had these minutes, they're sort of a blur to me. I've never focused on the details. This was new to me, trying to break down these scenes minute by minute, because it just was too much for me to, like, okay, I get the idea of what's going on. I'm not going to really pay attention to everything.
Yeah.
And I have to today.
Yeah. Hopefully by the end of this chunk, you will be able to have it straight in your head.
I will know.
Yeah. So with that, let's wrap up this minute. We'll be back to cover minute 87 very soon. But until then, always remember, trust no one.